You're watching Your View.
Thank you for joining us. This is Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM SoCal Sports Talk. Here's Scott Kaplan, Alex Padilla, and John Browner.
Great friends, it is Wednesday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew along with Grande and the Brown Man, blasting on the radio airwaves, 50,000 watts on the mightier 1090. So anywhere in Southern California, home base is San Diego, north through Orange County into LA, well up into Ventura County, Santa Barbara. Happy to have everybody along listening on the radio. For those of you that are with us on YouTube, you know you are the heart and soul of what we do here on Kaplan and Crew. And as one of our listeners told me yesterday, we are a much closer knit community thanks to YouTube and the YouTube chat. So get involved in the conversation and spread the word. And for those that will catch up to us tonight on television, the Cox Your View Network, Channel 4 in San Diego, Channel 118 in Orange County, 118 in Palos Verdes, and back to Channel 4 when you get to Santa Barbara. So you can catch us on radio, on television, on YouTube, on every audio podcast platform. Wherever you are, that's where we are, Kaplan and Crew, and we are back onto the airwaves. Okay, so I want to say that we had a conversation yesterday about the Padres managerial search, and I want to talk a little bit more about that here in 1 second. Here's what I'm going to start off by saying. Alex put out a video on social media, and the video was essentially me saying something to this effect. Here goes. The Padres front office already hiring a pitching coach indicates to me that an experienced veteran championship caliber manager, Bruce Bochy as my example, Bruce Bochy's not going to want to manage the Padres because they've already taken the liberty of hiring a pitching coach. And I said yesterday, and again, this was all put out there on social media, if you're Bruce Bochy and you're going to manage the club, but they've already started to put coaches in place, is the Padre organization really for you? So this one guy hits me up on Twitter yesterday, and he says, you're a complete idiot, which is always a great way to start a conversation because rather than saying, hey, I have a difference of opinion, it's right away name calling. People
Did
are
he
such
started
dicks.
off by saying, question, sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's all right.
This is my favorite. Did he start off by saying, terrible take, you idiot? Or did he just say, you're an idiot?
No, it started off with you're an idiot.
I hate people that say terrible take. It's an opinion.
Right. Right. Like who are you, the judge and jury?
So yours is great.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
this guy sends me this tweet and he says, you're an idiot. You know, anybody who knows anything about baseball knows that this new pitching coach that the Padres hired is a superstar, and every manager would love to have this guy on his team. But he actually goes on to rip my ass by telling me, if you just did 2 minutes of research, you would find out what a great pitching coach this guy is. Well, guess what, smart guy? I didn't do 2 minutes of research. I didn't do 5 minutes. I didn't do an hour. I did zero. Okay, I did zero. My opinion about the Padres hiring a pitching coach and how that will impact the Padres hiring a manager has zero to do with this guy's credentials. He may be the greatest pitching coach in the history of pitching, possible, okay? But it doesn't change the fact that if you are somebody that the Padres are talking to about the managerial job and the general manager is placing the coaching staff already, and you're a guy who's got 3 World Series rings and you're going to the Hall of Fame, you got to ask yourself this question. Do you think Bruce Bochy is willing to work and be told what to do by AJ Preller? Because here's the thing. I saw this go down many years ago. There was AJ Smith, the general manager of the Chargers, and there was Marty Schottenheimer. And while Marty Schottenheimer didn't have 3 Super Bowl rings, Marty Schottenheimer's resume was a bunch more decorated than AJ Smith's was. Okay? So if I'm Bruce Bochy, here's my resume, my 3 World Series rings. Here's AJ Preller's resume. I win. I'm Bruce Bochy. I hire the pitching coach. Maybe it's this guy. Alex, do you know the coach's name? I don't even know his name. I've never heard of him. Okay, and that's another thing. You know, all you guys that are celebrating this gentleman, he may be a great coach. I didn't do 2 minutes of research. I did zero. But doesn't change the fact that as great a coach as he may be, he's not the guy I chose to hire. Now, if Bruce Bochy gets the job for the Padres and says, I told them to hire him first, we were still negotiating, then good, all good. But I'm saying to you that when AJ Preller hires a pitching coach, in advance of hiring a manager, that indicates to me that you're not looking for a strong manager, somebody who's got World Series rings and somebody who's going to take over your ball club. Rather, you're looking for another Andy Green, Jace Tingler kind of puppet. And no disrespect to my friend Brad Ausmus, who may get this job. But Brad Ausmus is a guy who doesn't have the resume that Bochy has. So, listen, I got my ass ripped yesterday on Twitter. I get it. And you're
Every
right.
day.
I didn't do any research. Every day is right. I didn't do any research.
Also, those guys that did research, and I'm not slamming Ruben Niebla because I've read the research that everybody does. I did my own research. I read the Athletic article from 2019. I understand what people think he is, but are the people that did the 2 minutes of research, he's not even the pitching coach in Cleveland. He is the assistant to the pitching coach. So, like, what are we celebrating? What are we celebrating? He's been in the organization for 20 years, and he's not even the pitching coach yet. So all these people that want to like crown him as the next best thing, sure, go ahead. I don't care. I really don't. But when you hire someone, when you hire someone to oversee your team, you know, CEO, president, whatever whatever you want to call it, you don't trust him enough to bring in his staff to make you successful. That's my biggest issue. Is you do not trust the guy you're going to hire to run your team. Because if you did trust them, you would let them make all the hirings to make him successful.
If Peter Seiler didn't have AJ Preller, hired a manager, and then hired AJ Preller, people would be like, well, that's weird. What if AJ Preller doesn't want this guy's manager? People would find that weird. This is no different. Like, you're hiring someone who their boss is undecided yet.
They already did that.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
What I'm telling you is they hired AJ Preller with Bud Black here, and it took him how many games to fire Bud Black?
Well, I'll tell you right now,
they already did that, Browner. You're spot on. They already did that. They had a manager, and instead of cleaning house completely, they trusted AJ to come in, give us this whole all-star lineup that we've never had before. But the whole time, AJ's like, I don't want this dude. He's not my guy. He's not my guy. So why, if you're Bruce Bochy, if you're whoever, it's like, that's not my guy.
And if the person you want to manage the team comes in and says, well, I don't want this guy as pitching coach, are you not going to hire him? Like, what? So you're not going to hire the manager.
Those people that are saying, like, oh, Bochy probably signed off on him. It's like, what do you mean? So every single person that they've interviewed so far, Ozzie Guillen, Mike Schilt, Luis Rojas, like all three guys are like, yeah, I'm down. You know why? Because they're desperate for a freaking job, which is what I've been saying. Like the guys they're interviewing are desperate to be head coaches.
Is Bruce Bochy desperate to be a manager in Major League Baseball? Okay. Is Ozzie Guillen desperate to be a manager in Major League Baseball?
Probably.
Is Brad Ausmus?
Yes.
Probably yes.
Is Mike Schilt?
Yes.
Probably.
Is it anybody
Luis
else
Rojas?
on this? Yeah. I mean, these are all guys who will do anything. They'll take less money and they'll take less control because they want that uniform on and they want that title. And Bruce Bochy, unlike everybody else that we're talking about, he's not in a desperate situation. Bruce Bochy has 3 World Series rings. Bruce Bochy has a lot of financial security.
Will command a higher salary than most.
I don't think Bruce Bochy wants that job. He already had it. I don't think he wants it. That's my personal opinion. We keep bringing him up.
I think Mike Scioscia is desperate too, by the way.
I don't think he wants the job. Because
Mike Scioscia was successful in 2001, by the way,
right,
with the Angels.
I think the Padres have just put themselves in a corner, and I've said this from the beginning. If you're going to fire your manager, you fire the guy that's in charge of everything. AJ Preller. They put themselves in a corner where the philosophical difference is I don't believe in AJ Preller to hire a manager that's going to take him where he wants because AJ Preller is the only guy that can take him where he wants. Put a uniform on that guy. Doesn't matter who's in the dugout anymore. So that's like as a whole.
See, but I think
you
it
put
does
yourself
matter.
in a corner. I don't think it matters.
I think who's
because
in the dugout
at the
does
end of the
matter.
at the end of the day, whoever is the manager for AJ Preller doesn't have final say.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it doesn't matter. You can be a great like chemistry guy and you can like, command a locker room. But at the end of the day, if you're like, I want to pitch Blake Snell game 7 and AJ's like, no, we're pitching you Darvish. That's what matters. Because AJ's choice wins.
if you're the manager and you take this team to the World Series and you get to Game 7, if Ozzie Guillen's going to tell you who's pitching that game.
Oh,
Now,
please.
No,
AJ
you're
Preller will
crazy.
say, "Oh, no, you're not." Then that's where a fight's going to start. And who's going to side with Preller or who's going to side with Ozzie Guillen from a fan base perspective? The guy who's been with them every day and has coached you to a World Series, or the general manager who people wanted fired at the end of the year?
I think that this is really where this all began. Is that the Padres have already started to build a coaching staff. This gets back to a person on Twitter who says, do your research. Everybody wanted this guy. Alex, are you telling me that this gentleman, and again, I haven't even learned his name yet. What is his
Ruben
name?
Niebla
Ruben Niebla.
from Calexico, local.
Okay. Great. Wow. Awesome. He's from Calexico.
Better.
Walk around and ask 100 San Diegans where Calexico is. 99 of
run
them
into
won't
him.
even know.
You're gonna run into most if you hang out with me.
Yeah.
Yes, the pitching
Well-
coach last year of the Indians or of the Guardians, whatever they are now, was
Mhm.
Carl Willis, and
Mhm.
Ruben Niebla was the assistant pitching coach.
I mean, guys, for anybody that tells me what an idiot I am because I didn't do my research about how great this pitching coach is, I would ask you this. Why has he been the assistant pitching coach for all these years? Why hasn't he elevated? Why isn't he the most in-demand, highest-paid pitching coach in all of Major League Baseball? You do your research, jerk off. All right? You do
Still-
your research.
You still haven't done your research.
I still haven't. That's right.
No,
I
I
haven't.
did it for you.
Yes, thank you.
You're welcome.
I haven't done my research because to me it doesn't matter. It doesn't
irrelevant.
matter. It doesn't matter if you hire Ruben Niebla. I hope I'm saying his name right. Or if you hire, anybody else on the planet. It doesn't matter. My point is simply this. Imagine a head coaching vacancy in the NFL. The Rams head coaching job is wide open. Okay? Everybody's fired. All the coaches are fired. They have nobody in place. No head coach. But the general manager goes and hires an offensive coordinator. So now the offensive coordinator is hired, but the head coach isn't hired. Now they're looking for an experienced head coach. They're looking for a guy who's got a bunch of Super Bowls. They decide Bill Belichick is available. We want Bill Belichick. Is the general manager going to tell Bill Belichick, hey, we've already got an offensive coordinator. That's your coach. That's the guy who runs your offense. Bruce Bochy, I'm not saying he's Bill Belichick, but Bruce Bochy's half of Bill Belichick. He got 3 World Series rings. You don't tell Bruce Bochy who his people are until Bruce Bochy's in place. It's got nothing to do with the coach. It's got everything to do with the timing of the hire. So that's what I really wanted to get out because I'm getting my ass handed to me by a bunch of people who sit behind keyboards and tell me everybody what an idiot you are or what a bad take it is. No, it's you who's the idiot, okay? Because you clearly can't read this. You cannot read this situation.
It's not about Ruben Niebla. It's not even remotely about that. You can say anybody's name in the world. It's not about that. It's about the fact that we're going back into the same situation again. We're getting another Andy Green. You're getting another Jace Tingler. That's what you're getting.
See, I disagree.
That's what you're getting.
I disagree. I think we just.
Well, you'll win, Browner. Disagree, and you'll win when they hire a manager, and then we'll find out who they hired.
Yeah, there could be a giant pie in mine Scott's face, and that would be awesome.
It totally depends on the hire. Everything is on AJ Preller. If they come back with a guy I've never heard of, then I'm out.
Remember last time they were interviewing guys with names last time. They were doing the same thing. This wasn't like a new thing. They interviewed names last time.
Right, they do that to satisfy they do that to satisfy the fan base. Just like when they were going after Ohtani.
Have you read AC's article, by the way? Like
No.
AC's article is like, he didn't report it. Dennis Lin reported it, but it's funny to me how he says no one in the Padres organization is talking about the managerial search. And how are we finding out who you're interviewing then?
Come on, guy. You know what he's doing.
That's my point. My point is that Scott is correct. They're doing this to satisfy everybody. So then when they hire a guy named John Smith that you have to Google, it's like, well, we interviewed at the best candidates and this guy won. And then now they're going to have to go on the progressive and the aggressive and convince everybody the same way they try to do with Jace Tingler why he's the right guy.
Right, they'll sell. He's a player's guy.
Hire somebody.
He's
that
Latin.
I don't have to Google.
If
I have to Google the person they hire, I'm gonna go fire Preller until the end of time.
By the way, I would love Ozzie Guillen, and I don't even care if he would have final say. I would love Ozzie Guillen, and I think he would absolutely connect with this team. he's a Miami guy too, right? Like, doesn't he
Right.
live down
Yes,
there?
he's
So
very
like,
good
I
friends with
get
Manny
it. Like
Machado.
him, Machado, and Tatis would be best friends, and Ozzy would get up their ass too, which I
Yes.
love.
Well, let's talk about Ozzy here in 1 minute. Before we do, I do want to mention all the dudes out there. Hey guys, ithrivemd.com/Kaplan is a website. ithrivemd.com/my last name Kaplan. Or here's the phone number 858-240-1497. 858-240-1497. I've been telling you for about the last 3 weeks that Dr. Samir Damani and all of his doctors and medical professionals at iThriveMD, they want you guys, especially those of us that are now 40 and over, Browner, that includes you, by the way, in my case,
Whoa.
50 and over. As you get older, your testosterone levels drop. And I've talked about this forever. So I don't need to go into great detail. But the bottom line is you may be feeling foggy in the brain. Like, why am I not clear? Why am I not the way I used to be? You may be feeling a little bit of depression. Like, it's hard to get out of bed. What's bothering me? I don't know. You may not be able to get the job done in the bedroom, and that might be turning into a problem in your relationship. These are all signs of low testosterone. Okay, now you come to iThriveMD, you get your free testosterone test. If your testosterone is low and we're going to start a treatment, normally it's $289 a month. Now, for the first 3 months, it's only $145. You're saving 50%. But you got to make an appointment here in the month of October. Now, I'm talking to Dr. Damani, and I'll tell you honestly, I'm trying to see if he will extend this deal because I'm saying, Doc, November's coming, Thanksgiving, December's coming. You're not going to work the way you normally do. You're going to go to lots of Christmas parties. You're going to drink. You're going to eat. You're going to gain weight. And then you're going to have a New Year's resolution of January. I'm just telling you right now, I'm trying to get the doctor to extend the deal into November. But for now, you got to make an appointment in the month of October. 858-240-1497, 858-240-1497. Shop it for yourself. This is not only an amazing offer. iThriveMD is staffed with professional medical experts who are all about improving your quality of life and getting you to feel like yourself again. 858-240-1497, 50% savings for the first 3 months. So do this, guys. All right, let's go back to Ozzie Guillen because he's 57 and he may actually need to go to iThriveMD if and when he becomes the manager of the Padres. Alex, put up a slide for
Yes.
everybody. And we'll, by the way, for everybody that's tuning in on radio, everybody that's with us on YouTube, TV, we're going to move into some NFL football here in a matter of moments. Later on today, Hank Bauer is going to be here. We're going to talk NFL with Hank. A friend of mine named Mookie Alexander is in Seattle, and he is calling for the firing of Pete Carroll. We'll talk to
Yeah, what
Mookie
the
a little
hell,
bit later
dude?
on. I know. And Barry Barger will be here from BetUS, and we'll talk about what's going on this week in the NFL, and he'll start to give us some early thoughts here. It's only Wednesday. But go to Ozzie Guillen. Well,
Which
let's
one?
take a look. The one where we take a look at his resume
Oh, sure.
as a player and as a manager. Let's take a look at what he's done. Because Browner, I got to give you credit. You've been the one guy that has been bringing up this name, Ozzie Guillen, the entire time. When he wasn't on everybody else's radar, you said Ozzie Guillen is the go-to guy. Why so?
Because I was a observer of what he did for that White Sox team. I grew up watching Ozzie Guillen play shortstop. I actually saw the game he destroyed his knee in left field where he wasn't supposed to be in the first place. But I followed Ozzie Guillen's career for a long time, and I saw the great job he did with the talent for the White Sox. He turned Paul Konerko into a solid first baseman and AJ Przinsky into a household name. Like, if he can do that with those two dudes, what do you think he can do with Will Myers?
Hopefully nothing.
Yeah, hopefully Will
Will's not
Myers not
here.
here. Right.
I'm just saying, I always
get you what you're
believed in him. Even when he went to Miami and it flamed out, I think that was more of him over smelling his own roses, if you know what I mean. And so I
Do you
think he's
think
been
do you guys think there's a significant difference in the locker room when you're talking about the leader of the clubhouse, right? Everybody, it was supposed to be Hosmer. It's definitely not. It's probably Manny,
right.
and everyone follows Tatis. Do you guys think there's like a significant want among players? Like the Latin guys love Ozzie Guillen, but there's also a bunch of white dudes on the team, like Hosmer, like Cronin. Like, what's the personality difference there? Like, Cronenworth is the most laid back, chill out dude. And you got Ozzy riding you for 162 games, like that. So I understand wanting a Latin influence
Hmm.
on the team, someone that you can communicate. So many of the guys are Spanish speakers, like, but at the same time, is Ozzy the right Latin influence? Because he's so let's not forget, he was always in the news, always
Yeah.
in the news when
Yes.
Well,
he was the
I can
manager.
remember. I can remember a time There's a guy in Chicago, longtime acquaintance of mine. I don't want to make it seem like he's a good friend, just an acquaintance. His name is Mike North. And Mike was kind of the star of Chicago sports radio for a long time. And I'll never forget Mike North and Ozzie Guillen getting into a brawl on the air where Ozzie
Physically?
does no, it
Oh.
was over the phone, but Ozzie was trying to intimidate North the same way like Mike Tomlin was trying to intimidate the media, talking about how never, never, never,
Right. With the eye
giving you the
roll.
psycho eyes, and kind of pushing everybody around. And Ozzie is giving it to North, and North tells him, "Don't you ever, ever come on my radio show and disrespect me. I don't walk into your clubhouse and disrespect you. Don't you show up on my radio show and disrespect me." And it was awesome. And by the end of it all, it wasn't like screw you, screw you. Everybody was on the same page at the end of it. But Ozzie Guillen, in my opinion, is so much of a personality that he would be overwhelming to the Padres franchise. And that is not something they want. He would be the Gruden of the Padres. I'm not joking. And I just don't think that the Padres front office can deal with it. Hold that thought, Browner. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. Browner will have the final thought on Ozzie Guillen. Then we're going to turn our attentions to the NFL. Why is the NFL protecting Daniel Snyder? Because he's one of them. We'll get to that story coming right back. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios here on Kaplan.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
Pete Gray here, inviting you to catch my show, Let's Talk Hookup, every Saturday and Sunday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Time. For over 30 years, we've been the voice of the fishing community for Southern California, and so glad to be back on the big stick.
The all-new and mightier 1090.
SDCCU is an engaged community partner. Each year, SDCCU is proud to support many nonprofit organizations throughout Southern California. Our partnerships allow us to help shape the financial lives of many through volunteerism, financial support, and creating public awareness. The result is a big impact on the communities we serve. SDCCU, it's not big bank banking, it's better. Federally insured by NCUA. Find out more at sdccu.com.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on Your View or stream it online at yourview.com. Are you or someone you love living with dementia? Get free support from the experts at Alzheimer's San Diego. Visit alzsd.org or call 858-492-4400. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
Up to 30% of COVID-19 patients become long haulers with persistent symptoms months after the infection.
What I've been finding with my patients is that it's taking up to 3 to 6 months for them to recover their endurance, exercise capacity, and get them back to work or to their usual activities of daily living.
What I wasn't able to do was the basic needs, like brush your teeth, take a shower because of the shortness of breath, the tightness in my chest.
The symptoms that concern me the most, the shortness of breath. So restrictive. You know, you go through and you just take for granted that, you're gonna breathe. And when that gets taken away, it's a scary thought. Unfortunately, I'm 6 months out now from my diagnosis and I'm still suffering from several of the symptoms.
My experience with the patients I've sent to La Mesa Rehab has been extremely positive. The patients come back with good reports, and when I see them in the office, their exercise capacity has improved dramatically.
I'm getting there because of La Mesa Rehab.
Teatro means theater in Spanish, and in Portuguese, and in Tagalog, and in Italian, and in so many languages. We have a lot of communities, a lot of culture here, so that is the reason why teatro is in the name. The mission of Teatro San Diego is to provide arts education to underserved communities, specifically in schools. Our goal is also in tandem with arts education to provide a professional theater company and dance company so that the community can see themselves reflected on stage at the professional level. Places like Subaru have really been so supportive and have helped us come up with projects like the AMI project.
I was so honored to be at an event a few days ago and heard some of the songs from it. These guys rock. This is just an amazing thing that everyone needs to see.
We're here every day, 24/7, giving you only the finest handcrafted sports talk programming you're going to find anywhere. And we never stop. Fanatic is such a mean word. We prefer committed. This is the Mightier 1090 AM.
My name is John Alicio, and I'm managing partner of Procopio. Procopio is the largest San Diego-based law firm, and we're proud to be a part of this event, the Salute to Teachers. Without the teachers, none of us would have had the success we've had. You know, our firm consists of about 200 professionals and 200 attorneys, so a total of 400 mostly San Diego-educated professionals. Without you, we'd not be winning the cases we win, as we go toe-to-toe with the best attorneys in the world. So thank you on behalf of Procopio for what you do and how you do it. And a special personal thanks to my alma mater, Valhalla High School, and the teachers at that school. Without you, I would not have had the personal success I have had. So from Procopio, thank you for what you do and how you do it. Salute.
It was a night to remember as we honored the best teachers in San Diego. There was dancing. There was music. There were teachers. There was also this bit of genius.
This honor is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Watch Cox present Salute to Teachers only on Your View.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
The San Diego Loyal moved down to third in the Pacific Division after a loss to the Oakland Roots on Sunday. The Loyal dropped a close one, 4-3 to the Roots, and Orange County Soccer Club got a win, shaking up the placing in the division. Corey Herzog tied the game at 3 in the 86th minute, building momentum heading into the final stretch of the match. The goal moved Herzog to the second all-time leading scorer in USL Championship history. 3 minutes into stoppage time, Oakland's Jeremy Bukila scored on a penalty kick to get the Roots the win. The Loyal have clinched their first ever spot in the playoffs, but in order for them to secure a first-round game at home, they'll need two things to happen. San Diego will need to beat Sacramento Republic, and OCSC will need to lose against the LA Galaxy too. Tune into Your View on Saturday to see the Loyals' final regular season game of the year against Sacramento. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew Tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Still on his feet, Jared Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. He's at the 40. Is he going to go? Stockos holds it in. What a catch. Return left sidelines off to the races. He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Wildcats. That was pretty.
Game Time High School Football on Your View is brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 at El Cajon.
Still on his feet, Jared Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats. He's at the 40. Is he going to go? Stockos holds it in. What a catch. Return left sidelines off to the races. He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Wildcats. That was pretty.
Catch all the action as Helix takes on Granite Hills October 29th at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
We'll be right back with more of Scott Kaplan and Crew Tonight. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and Crew show on the Mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the Mightier 1090 and Your View.
Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Just off I-8 in El Cajon.
Great friends, it is a Wednesday afternoon here on Kaplan and Crew. We are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, 7milecasino.com. I'm stopping at 7 Mile Casino early this evening, probably around like 6 o'clock. I'm heading down to Chula Vista to see Dead and Company tonight. And I told my buddies who I'm going with, let's stop at 7 Mile Casino. Let's have dinner at his restaurant and bar. I definitely want that Kung Pao chicken. I'm probably going to pound on a few of those slider burgers. And then because I'm on a diet, I'll have a little bit of a salad and a Diet Coke. You know what I mean? But
salad dressing can sometimes make that salad very, very unhealthy. So you got to be careful with those.
I'm going to use a little balsamic vinaigrette on the side.
There you go.
All right. So we're in the 7 Mile Casino studios. I'll be stopping down there later on this evening and looking forward to not just a great dinner at Sammy's Restaurant and Bar, but a few hands of blackjack. I'm coming in, 7 Mile. I'm coming in. I'm taking your money, and I'm going down to see Dead and Company. So I'll see you guys all there a little bit later on. All right, Browner, we were in the middle of this conversation about Ozzie Guillen and the possibility of him joining the Padres, and I definitely want to get into some NFL stuff coming up in a matter of moments, but you had the final thought. What do you say?
You could not have put it better. He would be the Raiders' John Gruden. That might be what they need. The Tampa Bay Bucks had Tony Dungy. They got John Gruden, and look where it got him. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, I would 100% take one World Series and then just be awful again. Like, I would take it. If Ozzie Guillen comes in and wins a World Series either next or 23, and then he's not a rebuilding manager, we know this, I would take it. In a heartbeat, I would take it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I mean, I think most Padre fans are like, look, we've been so bad for so long, and this city is so desperate for a championship. And I know that like a lot of Padre fans were watching the National League Championship Series between the Dodgers and the Braves, and all the Padre fans were rooting for was the demise of the Dodgers, okay? But if you're a San Diego sports fan, here's what you have right now. The discussion of who your manager is going to be. Big game this week between San Diego State and Fresno State. That's what you have in sports. And I suppose if Landon Donovan is listening right now, you'd say the San Diego Loyal, okay? San Diego Loyal. But I mean, it's like no disrespect to the USL and to my friend Landon Donovan. It's just not top of mind for me. Now you look at everything that's going on in LA, okay? And you got the Lakers last night. You just had the Dodgers season end. You've got the Rams, who are one of the best teams in the NFC. You've got the controversy around the USC head coaching job. You just had UCLA on national TV against Oregon. I mean, what I'm saying is that as a
conversation about the USC job,
right? Yeah. A Padres fan, a San Diego sports fan, the managerial job of the Padres and who they're going to hire is the most important story in your sporting life because you don't have a lot. So I'm with you, Alex. I would take a World Series with Ozzie Guillen, and then you tell me that the Padres are going to be bad again for the next 10 years. I'll take one, just one in my lifetime.
Yeah. And this is coming to you guys from a lifelong Lakers fan who has a lot of championships under his belt. They're hard to come by, man. Like, and so when I told Browner, when the Lakers won a championship with Anthony Davis, the trade's already worth it. I don't care what happens the rest of the way. Obviously, I'd take more, but when you get the ring, it's so hard to get, man, that I'll take one.
I think that's the understatement when people who don't have one, and which is weird because it's so hard to get one because you don't have one ever,
right.
Period. And if this man shows up and delivers, if he delivers, he'll be the toast of the town.
Can I ask you guys? Maybe this is a stupid question. I don't know, but it just popped in my head.
Would
you guys rather have? Would you guys rather have sustained success for the next? Like, how long is Tatis here? 13 more years. Would you rather have sustained success, like playoff contention in the playoffs here and there, but never win a ring, or would you rather have one ring and be bad the rest?
Give me the one. Give me the one.
I don't think there's any doubt
you remember the
about
one
it.
forever.
Yeah, I don't think there's any question. I mean, I'd rather have that one championship. I'd rather see this city celebrate a championship. I used to say back in the old days of 1090, when the World Series was happening and the Kansas City Royals were in the World Series, I was like, oh my God, I so desperately want that for the city of San Diego. When I see the Tampa Bay Rays make it to the World Series, I'm like, oh my goodness, a small market team like that makes it to the World Series. I so desperately want that for the city of San Diego, particularly more now than ever before, because there are no more Chargers. San Diego State's never going to play for a national championship. Even if the San Diego Loyal elevate to MLS level, which I expect them to do within the next couple of years, MLS is not Major League Baseball. It's not the NFL.
Not yet.
And again, I'll just say this. You know, baseball season ended for me when the Dodgers were eliminated. Last night's World Series game, were you guys watching the World Series last night?
Not
I
a
was
second.
at a house.
Yeah, I was not watching the World Series last night. When we were at Alex's place kind of celebrating his new house, I didn't have it on my phone. It wasn't important to me anymore. I followed the Padres. I followed the race in the NL West. I followed the playoff battle between the Giants and the Dodgers. It didn't matter to me if the Dodgers won or the Giants won. Whoever was from the division, I was going to keep on following. I got it to the end of the NLCS. The Dodgers got eliminated. Baseball season's over.
So you bring up the Royals, which is a perfect example. The Royals are the question. The Royals went to the playoffs twice, lost the World Series in 14, won the World Series in 15, have not been back to the playoffs since. And before they made it to the World Series in 2014, they didn't make it to the playoffs since 1985. So you're asking, when I ask the question, we have a real life example of the answer that you want.
Yeah, I would take it. I would take where the Royals are organizationally before winning a championship and after winning a championship. I would take the Royals versus what the Padres are.
What about
which is
if you
bad, then a tease, then got bad again.
And I guess the other answer is if you take away the shortened asterisk season, or do you want to be the Dodgers? Continued success, can't win. Or the
Yeah.
Braves.
Seen as a
Or the
choker.
Braves.
No
the Braves.
thanks.
The Braves have been
Yes,
that team
same
forever.
thing.
The Braves have consistently been good, and they just don't win a World Series. They could this year, but you never know.
Yeah, I mean, would you want to be consistently good without a championship, or would you rather be good once, win a championship, and go back to being mediocre?
The Marlins do this once a decade. They win the World Series, they burn it down. Somehow magically they come out of nowhere, they win again, and they burn it all down again. So listen, man,
I'd rather
give
be
me
the
the time.
Marlins. I'd rather be the Marlins, where you've got 2 world championships.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
you
I'm with
suck
you.
for 8 years out of the decade you suck. But at some point you manage to find these kids and you win out of nowhere, and then you sell them all off and you go back to sucking.
It's difficult to do what the Dodgers have done, man. I mean, I know that they have the money, and I get it, but I mean, it's difficult to just be that good year in
And
and
the
year out
pressure
in
of that, by
baseball.
the way, the pressure of like the pressure of the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, because they spend so much money. The pressure that the Cubs were under, and they couldn't handle it, and they just got from under it.
Right. Well,
When-
think about it. Think about how the Rays are not under that pressure. The Oakland
Mhm.
A's are not under that pressure.
Right.
They're good every year. They compete every year, but they don't
Cardinals.
really get there. You know?
Yeah, the Cardinals are good every year, and they don't ever have a top, 3 salary either. They
Zero
just
pressure.
continue to pump out talent and then spend it in the right spots. Arenado, Goldschmidt, whatever you got to do.
But it's also weird because the Angels spend a lot of money, and they're under no pressure.
That's what I'm concerned about. I'm genuinely concerned about. I
Becoming
already
the
said it.
Angels?
We are the Angels. Right
Really?
now, we are the Angels.
Oh,
We have-
no,
we have
we're not
crazy-
the Angels because the Angels at least have a World Series championship. Now, granted, it's back in
Right, but
2001.
We're new to being the Angels, but my concern is becoming them, having
Mm-hmm.
superstar players and winning 78 games a year and never freaking doing anything. Like that is a genuine concern of mine.
All right. Well,
That's a
let
valid
me
concern.
Yeah. Let me listen. We're on managerial watch. Okay.
I'll make
And
I'll
again-
make a sounder, I guess.
Yeah. And again, I here's my opinion, and if I'm proven wrong, good for everybody. I don't think you're going to get a Bruce Bochy. I don't think you're going to get somebody that has the clout to demand the control that he wants. I think a guy like Mike Scioscia, you talk about retread. Don't get me wrong, Mike Scioscia, I like Mike, okay? But his success with the Angels was literally 20 years ago, and he then got to be the manager of that club for all those years. So I don't want Mike Scioscia. Brad Ausmus, I love Brad Ausmus. I mean, Brad Ausmus is one of the great guys you'll ever be around, okay? My only problem with Brad Ausmus as the manager of the Padres is his limited experience as a manager in Major League Baseball. And I would say limited. I mean, he's probably managed 700 games in his career. He's not a championship manager, which you don't have to be. He's an experienced manager, but he's a San Diego guy. He lives here. He loves living here. His family is from here. He's raised his children here. Getting the job as the manager of the Padres, it's like a dream come true. So if you told me you're the manager of the Padres, whatever you guys tell me, you tell me who pitches, you tell me who hits, you set the lineup. I want the $1 million a year salary. I want to put on the uniform, and I want to be the manager of the Padres. I think Brad Ausmus checks a lot of boxes. And I'm concerned that Brad's going to get himself into a situation, because I think it's more likely you'll get a Brad Ausmus than it is a Bruce Bochy. And I'm concerned that Brad's going to take the job because he wants the job, rather than saying, nah, I don't want the job because if you're not going to let me manage, then I'm not taking it. And I think a lot of these guys that they're interviewing are guys that are in the same position Andy Green and Jace Tingler were in. I want to be a Major League Baseball manager. So, all right, listen, we are in the 7 Mile Casino studios, and I do want to mention to everybody, my people from Corky's Pest Control, 1-800-901-1102. I've mentioned this before. I've got 3 friends currently at the same time, all whose houses are being tented for termites. When you call Corky and he looks up your home on the computer and he quotes you a price for termite fumigation, that's the price. Once the price is quoted, that is the price. You're not going to come out to your house and go, oh, it's a much bigger deal. It's a much bigger mess. Man, I got to charge you more. No. Once the price is quoted, that's it. Shop around. It's a 4-year guarantee on termite fumigation. Ask every pest control company you're talking to what their guarantee is. Nobody's got what Corky has. And you can just Google that one word, Corky's, or you can call that phone number. Call 1-800-901-1102.
Corky. Yeah.
All right, let me move on. Talking a lot of baseball, and yet I'm not watching the World Series. I can't believe I'm talking so much baseball. Yeah. Hey, listen, so the NFL owners are meeting. And you ever watch pro wrestling when you here's the good guy, okay? The baby face, they call him in pro wrestling. And here's the bad guy. They call him a heel, right? And you really want the good guy to win. But the bad guy has his manager distract the referee. Then the bad guy takes a folding chair, smacks it over the head of the good guy. The referee finally turns around. The good guy's down. The bad guy jumps on him. 1, 2, 3. And the referee has no idea that the good guy was knocked out by a folding chair because the bad guy's manager was distracting the ref. That's what I feel like is happening here in the NFL. Let me make sure I understand this. 650,000 emails in the Washington football team investigation of all the craziness that was going on inside that franchise under the ownership of Daniel Snyder, the guy that refused to change the name from Redskins to whatever else they were going to call the team because he was like, screw you people. I'm a billionaire. This is my team. This has been their name. And I don't care how offensive you think it is in 2020 or even before that. I'm not changing the name. And then the pressure just got too hot. Not because he came, straight and was like, oh, you know what? You're right. It is offensive. It was all the investigations going into that franchise. And it was yet again, distract the referee by changing the name. 650,000 emails. And the only guy that's lost his ass in all of it is a guy who didn't even work for the team. John Gruden is the only guy who lost his ass in the Washington football team investigation because of emails that he sent and words that he used that are offensive in today's America. You can't use those words, but Gruden's the only guy. Nobody's going after Daniel Snyder. They removed him. His wife runs the organization. Yeah, we buy that. Sure. Nobody else.
They try to get Shefty.
Yeah, they did try and get Adam Schefter a little bit. Yeah. But if you can just sustain the media barrage, in 3 days it flushes down the toilet and it's forgotten.
Yeah.
Nobody else lost anything other than John Gruden. I'm not defending John Gruden. What I am saying is the NFL, how they're getting away with this, and I hope Congress comes after them. I really do. I hope Congress gives the NFL a full colonic. Seriously.
Whoa.
Like colonoscopy,
Eiffel Tower?
Well, I mean,
Wow.
I got the Eiffel Tower. I got the colonoscopy and the endoscopy at the same time. I took the Eiffel Tower like a man,
Okay.
by the way.
So what?
But seriously,
When you bring up Congress and stuff, like I understand that they got into the whole steroid scandal in baseball,
Yeah.
and that became a thing. But what would Congress do here? Like, what is? Because I see this that Congress are like calling for, but like, are they not a private company? Are they not like? Is this affecting the public? Like that. So
Well,
why?
I mean,
When
you
people,
have a sexual harassment. I'm trying to think of the phraseology of workplace misconduct, et
right,
cetera, et cetera.
right.
And I believe what Congress, at least what I've read so far, which is, hey, look, the NFL is an important part of Americana, and if they're misbehaving in their offices, we should probably all have a chance to know about it. Only because, look, put it this way: if John Gruden isn't outed, and John Gruden isn't forced to resign, we go on in life and nobody's ever talking about this.
Right.
But somebody had it out for Gruden. Somebody leaked those emails. And I think all of us assume then that there's a lot more stuff that's been said in emails. And there's probably a lot of other people. And it would be very embarrassing to the NFL if all these people were outed. Because here's Roger Goodell. Watch Roger Goodell, the commissioner of the NFL yesterday. He's so smug and so slimy, meaning anything can slide right off of him. He's got this I'm bigger and stronger and richer and more powerful than you mentality when he speaks to people. Take a look at the commissioner yesterday. Go ahead and play.
He was asked if Dan Snyder has suffered enough punishment.
I do think he's been held accountable for. I think the organization has been held accountable, and I think we did an unprecedented fine. Dan Snyder has not been involved with the organization for now almost 4 months. And we obviously are focused more on making sure that the policies that they had, many which they put into place prior to this investigation, but also coming out of it, were put into place and that they will be maintained, and that we can ensure that that will happen in this organization.
What in goodness name did he just say?
Huh?
Nothing. Said nothing. Here's the question. But Mr. Commissioner, just follow up here. Does Daniel Snyder still own the Washington football team? Yes.
Great question.
Or no? Yes or no?
Great question.
Yes, he does still own the Washington football team. Okay. So then why is it that John Gruden, who had nothing to do with the team, wasn't working for the league, why did somebody out John Gruden? Why are you guys protecting Daniel Snyder? We want to see what his emails look like. If I were Gruden, I would be. You talk about a lawsuit, Browner. You've been saying this from the beginning.
I'm telling you, it's coming. I'm
gotta
telling
be.
you, this lawsuit is coming. Here's why. And to get to your Congress question, the only way we're really going to get any answers about what actually happened, there are two ways. If the people who participated in the investigation order a court, have released their testimony to the public, they would have to go to court and get that worked out in the court. That's probably not going to happen. The only other way is these teams don't pay taxes. So if a congressional subpoena is issued for this investigation to be made public, they'll make it public because they don't want to pay taxes on those teams.
Yeah.
Well, you see all those former Washington football team employees that have shown up at these owners' meetings that are essentially like they're parading, saying, "Show us what else was being said."
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know who else is saying that?
Tell me.
This man right here.
Look
Mark
at that
Davis.
outfit.
Look at that.
Yeah,
This is the guy that's
OG.
going to burn the NFL down.
Yeah,
I'm
that's what
calling it
looks
right
like.
now, dude. This 5-year-old is going to burn the NFL down.
Put that picture back
The
up.
boy
of Mark
from Up
Davis.
who grew up is going to burn the
Yeah.
whole thing down.
God, he still got on that white shiny jacket. He got a backpack on. He got the bowl haircut, the Soup Bowl haircut. No exaggeration at all. Those of you that are watching, you see. And I'm with you, Alex. I think that if there's one guy whose father had a war with the NFL and who should be furious with the NFL, and look,
And who I think
maybe
is a lot smarter than we have given him credit for. I genuinely believe that he is a lot smarter because of the way he looks that we give him credit for. What he did in Vegas
course.
was a freaking swindle, dude, to the city, to the state. He got everything he wanted. Low-key got everything he like. I genuinely believe that dude is a smart man.
No cash down.
hey, look, if let's just say
No
the Raiders
deposit.
are better, let's say the Raiders are better without John Gruden, that's fine. And let's say that the resignation of John Gruden saves Mark Davis 30, 40, $50 million. That's fine too. But if you're Mark Davis, You guys came after my guy. And Daniel Snyder is fine. He still owns the team. Okay. And there's tons of other emails that we don't have access to. And I'll guarantee you that if you got access to 650,000 emails, the NFL would be humiliated by what was written, said, whatever, by big name people.
What if John Gruden sues the NFL for $100 million? You talk about a payday.
CBS Sports said that they're working on a settlement with the Raiders and Gruden to pay him. So I don't know how much. If he could leave there with most of his money, I think I don't know if there's.
Oh, I think though I would be suing. There got to be lawyers out there that are going to say, Gruden, we got to sue for damages.
Yeah.
Look what they've done to your reputation. You've not lost just your coaching money. You've lost all your commercial endorsement money. You've lost an opportunity to ever go back on television.
I gotta tell you guys, I genuinely think the reason that we're not seeing these emails, and he said a quote today, and I know we gotta go. Jerry Jones is in those emails. He said, as everybody's satisfied with the conclusion of the investigation. Why, Jerry? You run the league. Why?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, it's crazy. All right, stick around. Hank Bauer on the way. We'll talk real NFL coming up. We're in the 7 Mile Casino Studios. This is Kaplan and Crew.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and Your View, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more. Kaplan and Crew tonight is brought to you by BMW San Diego, your certified BMW dealer, serving drivers throughout San Diego and the surrounding areas.
We don't ask a lot from you. Just 16 measly hours a day. That's it. Buy some earbuds. Listen at work, in meetings, on the way home, talking to the wife, or helping the kids with homework. They'll admire your stick-to-itiveness. This is the mightier 1090 AM.
Great things can be achieved when a community comes together. Join Erica Cardenas on Doing More as she introduces you to ordinary people working side by side to confront tremendous challenges and make a positive impact in their community. Watch Doing More Sunday night at 6 on Your View or stream it online at yourview.com. Sponsored by The Barnes Firm, partnering with Shelter to Soldier and saving lives 2 at a time. Visit thebarnesfirm.com/shelter to soldier and help save more lives.
Still on his feet, Jared Williams-Swift is in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcat. He's at the 40. Is he going to go? Goes, holds it in. What a catch. Return left sideline, off to the races. He flipped the defenders into the end zone. He's got a man. Wildcat. That was pretty.
Catch all the action as Helix takes on Granite Hills October 29th at 7 p.m. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
It was a night to remember as we honored the best teachers in San Diego. There was dancing. There was music. There were teachers. There was also this bit of genius.
This honor is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S.
Watch Cox present Salute to Teachers only on Your View.
Here's Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout with Haley Stasiak.
The San Diego Loyal moved down to 3rd in the Pacific Division after a loss to the Oakland Roots on Sunday. The Loyal dropped a close one, 4-3 to the Roots, and Orange County Soccer Club got a win, shaking up the placing in the division. Corey Herzog tied the game at 3 in the 86th minute, building momentum heading into the final stretch of the match. The goal moved Herzog to the 2nd all-time leading scorer in USL Championship history. 3 minutes into stoppage time, Oakland's Jeremy Bukila scored on a penalty kick to get the Roots the win. The Loyal have clinched their first ever spot in the playoffs, but in order for them to secure a first-round game at home, they'll need 2 things to happen. San Diego will need to beat Sacramento Republic, and OCSC will need to lose against the LA Galaxy too. Tune into Your View on Saturday to see the Loyals' final regular season game of the year against Sacramento. That's your 60-second timeout. Now back to more Kaplan and Crew tonight.
Kaplan and Crew tonight's 60-second timeout is presented by Your View.
Got an opinion? Scott Kaplan says test it on cited.co. Yes, .co. SoCal Sports Talk. The all-new and mightier 1090.
From fitness to medical technology, explore how people are leading healthier lives on Your Health. Join Erica Cardenas as she introduces you to health experts and discover how our daily choices affect our well-being. Plus, learn simple tips for healthier living. Your Health, Sunday at 4:30 p.m. on YourView and YourView.com. Brought to you by La Mesa Rehab, improving the lives of those afflicted by chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Learn more at LaMesaRehab.com.
Wilsey Asset Management is an investment advisory firm registered with the SEC. We're a firm that's a fiduciary firm, and we manage $500 million in assets for clients and businesses nationwide. We do better when our clients do better. You want to have a win-win situation. And I saw the same thing with charities. Some of the charities that we're involved in would include Cruise for Kids. Another organization that we really helped a lot was Children's Hospital. And there's also other organizations that we help as well in addition to those.
Kind of growing up and seeing how involved my dad was in the community, it really rubbed me, I'm going to say, in the right way. I did kind of take that one step further, I would say, and actually did start my own charity. It's called the Fighters Fight Foundation. What we do is we actually provide experiences to women that are battling stage 3 or stage 4 breast cancer. Our charity is not just about providing the experiences for women, it's also too on educating people. If you want to get involved in the foundation, you can go to our website, fightersfightfoundation.com.
At La Jolla Cosmetic, we try to help people achieve well-being, and we feel that it's not only important to look good, but also feel good inside. And honestly, what a better opportunity to help my community than being a supporter of an organization such as Las Patronas.
The mission of Las Patronas is to provide financial assistance to local nonprofits that are providing valuable community services in the areas of health, education, social services, and cultural arts. La Jolla Cosmetic has been one of our biggest supporters at Las Patronas, so we couldn't do what we do without their support.
You feel the need and you see the need because we go to visit each grant applicant.
Partnering with groups that are actually dedicated to help your community, it's the best thing that you can do as a responsible business.
Shelter to Soldier is 9 years young with a mission to save lives 2 at a time. We're adopting dogs from local shelters, training them for post 9/11 combat veterans, and we're able to donate these trained dogs to deserving veterans in need.
You know, I was in a very dark place. I was having suicidal thoughts, and I really needed an immediate help. We don't know if tomorrow is going to be there for us.
Shelter to Soldier is a nonprofit, and we're able to do the work that we do because of you, the community. Whether it's an individual donating $5 or whether it's a corporate donor like the Barnes firm that's supporting us and sponsoring multiple dogs that are going to make an impact in the veterans' lives in need.
Him by my side 24/7 has completely turned my life around. It's not just saving both of our lives, it has made an impact on myself, Nigel, my family, my work. So yes, they definitely have saved our lives.
You're watching Kaplan and Crew Tonight, powered by the mightier 1090 and YourView, featuring the best sports talk in SoCal. Brought to you by Team Mazda of El Cajon, where your trade-in is always worth more.
Save the Stork is an organization that equips pregnancy resource centers across the nation so that these pregnancy resource centers can reach more women facing unplanned pregnancies and provide them with holistic care, compassionate choices, and just an abundance of resources to support their decision to choose life. Save the Stork has been around for about 10 years. Most people know us by our Stork buses. A Stork bus is a mobile medical unit that's equipped with the state-of-the-art medical equipment as well as very knowledgeable and experienced medical professionals.
The buses enable them to reach areas where maybe there's not a pregnancy care center nearby. We are here to walk this journey with you so that you're not alone and to help you find your heart in all of this. And that means and that you're going to make a choice that is truly going to be something that years from now you're going to be proud of.
Attention, all dogs, cats, horses, tortoises, birds, pigs, and all other pets. Get your family members to sit, stay, and watch Animal Zone every Saturday at 9 p.m. right here on this channel and at animalzone.org.
Tune in Saturdays at 9 p.m. to watch Animal Zone right here on YourView.
Thank you for joining us. Catch Scott Kaplan and crew tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. Pacific every Monday through Friday. The very best from today's Scott Kaplan and crew show on the mightier 1090 AM. A new generation of radio. SoCal Sports Talk.
Inspired